Hi, I'm Cassandra and I'm a current ADI ambassador. I've been working with ADI since the spring quarter of 2012. I'm a second-year student studying human development and political science. I also am getting a minor in business, and here goes the program goals PowerPoint for ADI. We have two types of goals with ADI. We have annual, which are short-term, and we have our long-term goals over the course of the program. Our goal this year is to engage in 500 interviews with alumni. So meeting with alumni face-to-face, sometimes phone interviews, but generally face-to-face interviews in San Diego or wherever you happen to be in the time, if you're studying abroad or you are home for a weekend and you know an alumni in your area that would like to be interviewed. Those all count as interviews, and we of course write the contact reports for them, as you will see in your training with us. Another one of our annual goals is to achieve our 100% data cleanup. So as you are meeting with alumni, you are trying to get their most current information, get their most current address, get their most current name. So if someone is married and they've changed their last name, you want to get that information from them, because as we obtain that information, we can update our records. We also have been focusing on alumni affinities, so finding out what an alumni is most interested in, get their personal interests, and using that to really engage them in our programs. We also have our long-term program goals, which include getting discovered alumni or alumni you've interviewed interested in rejoining the UCSD community, not just meeting with them one time and forgetting that they exist, but actually keeping up with them and hoping that they will get involved with some of the programs we have. So we want to really cultivate our relationships with alumni through three main areas of engagement. And those three areas are events, volunteering, and giving. So first we have events. We have lots of events throughout the year, both in San Diego and around the world. Some of our biggest events are our signature alumni events, and those include Founders Weekend and Alumni Weekend, which will happen once a year and will be maybe 3 or 4 days of just a ton of events that you can plug in your meetings. Those are some of the easiest to get alumni to want to go to, because you have a ton of marketing material to show them, you have a lot to say about them, and you've been trained well, hopefully, to give more information about them. But there are also smaller events that happen throughout the year, like attending lectures, like the Inspiring Minds campaign. We have maybe a lecture every month or two with a prominent UCSD professor or alumni. Those are more for the intellectual types, more for people who want to come back to learn. And not everyone will want to engage in that, and that's up to you to decide when you're talking to an alumni what you really want to showcase to him or her. If the alumni is not in San Diego, there are also 25 regional clubs throughout the world. So we have them in San Francisco, we have them in New York, Hong Kong. You can pretty much find UCSD alumni wherever you go. And at these regional clubs, they do volunteer events and those kind of stuff, but they also have happy hours. And those are huge events for most alumni. Those are the ones that a lot of people are really attracted to, because it's networking, it's social, but it's also fun and exciting and meeting new people. So one of our events we have is called a webinar. So what this is an online seminar that all UCSD alumni can watch on the website, and it's one way to gain information. So an expert in their field, and usually a UCSD alumni, will be giving a presentation to the entire base that is watching online, but at the same time alumni can engage in social media during the event. So they can tweet during it, they can Facebook, they can ask questions to the speaker. It's very interactive. One of our last events that I'm going to talk about is UCSD Athletics. If there's an alumni that is interested in sports, or maybe played sports while he was here or she was here, they might be interested in attending a UCSD athletics game. This doesn't have to be just in San Diego. So if you are, for whatever reason, interviewing someone who is from the Bay Area or really anywhere, you can plug a UCC athletics event that is an away game. So what I like to do is if I know that a alumni I'm interviewing is a prior athlete, I will look up maybe the games in their area in that time and write them down before I leave for my interview to let them know, because that is something that we can really engage them in and get them to get their pride in UCSD back. This is an example of our event information that is available at alumni.ucsd.edu. These are very helpful. You can go on here and easily see when your event is, what the time, where it's at, and then the details of the event. So like a dress attire or a primary contact, for example. So this is important to the alumni because they can go on there and check out all the events we have coming up in their area. The example on the screen is from Silicon Valley Regional Club, and for example, this event is in Cupertino, but they move around a little bit depending on who is hosting the event. So this is important to the alumni, but it's also important to you because when your meeting is over, you can send an alumni, this link to this page. So if you know an alum is in Silicon Valley and that they would be interested in this happy hour, you can send them a link to this exact page and say, hey, I remember we talked about this in our interview. I just want to let you know that this happy hour is coming up in your area. I hope that you'll attend. And that is a very easy way to send information along. Our second area of alumni engagement is volunteering. There are ways you can volunteer that alumni would say, oh, I can't volunteer, I don't have time for that. But there are a lot of really easy ways to volunteer. One of the easiest is joining Tritons Helping Tritons on LinkedIn, which is a LinkedIn group open to UCSD alumni, staff, faculty, and students. They can go onto this page, they can post job offers, they can post offers for jobs, job seeking, and then they can also go on there and just ask if anyone in their field would like to have a chat. Or some of these posts on this page are very informal. They just want to have lunch to talk about someone's career with them, kind of like what we're doing a little bit, and it's all for them gaining their own information. And that's a very easy way to volunteer, to spread your knowledge to a current student. You can also hire a student through career services or the academic internship program. So if someone is coming to you as an alum and they mention that they work in a field that hires undergraduate or graduate students, this might be a good way to engage them, because they can post their job offers online, or they can create a whole new internship with the academic internship program. We also have major events in the San Diego area and around the world, of course, with regional clubs that can be attended. These are your traditional volunteer events. I know that this quarter the San Diego Regional Club did a volunteer event with a battered women's shelter, and they planted a garden at the shelter. That's something that would be more of a traditional volunteer event versus something like joining Tritons Helping Tritons on LinkedIn. You can also have an alum plan a small reunion. So if they were part of a club that they really missed, or they were really engaged in during their time here, they can plan a reunion and we'll help them. We'll help reach out to the alumni from their field or from their organization, and we'll facilitate that reunion to some extent. Lastly, as a volunteer position, we can have an alumni speak at an event as part of a panel. So this is not just for any alumni, obviously. This is for someone who is, really great in their field or has a lot to contribute to a event coming up that they need panels for. And here's an example of some of the posts we have on LinkedIn in the Tritons Helping Tritons group. As you can see from this post, Ronald, he has 2 internship slots at an analytics company in San Francisco. He has quite a few people commenting on it, saying that he's interested in their position. But then right underneath him we have a student posting about the Nanoengineering and Technology Student Society. So it's a diverse group, but at the same time they're all there to connect to each other. There's also the UCSD Alumni LinkedIn group, which is separate from the Try-Something Tritons group, and it's only open to alumni. No current students are allowed into the group except for ADI ambassadors, so you will have access to that group. It has over 15,000 verified alumni members. Each member is, individually verified via Millennium Friendraiser to ensure that they are an alumni. So when you go on there, you can be certain that you're talking to people who are alumni. But you just have to be careful not to reach out to someone without posting on your Friendraiser first. But I'm sure that Ryan will talk to you more about that. Our last area of alumni engagement is giving. This is generally a philanthropical gift, but this is, for example, the associate or benefactor of UCSD alumni program. So you have your loyalty programs, as you'll see coming up in the next slideshow. We have the support Invent the Future campaign. So these are all ways that alumni can get involved philanthropically without having to spend a lot of time going to events. So if an alumni just says, oh, I don't have time to go to an event, but I do want to give back, you can say, well, we have an excellent way for you to give back. You can give, for example, a participation gift. Now what a participation gift is we have the U.S. News and World Report, which ranks all the universities. I'm sure that you saw that when you applied to school, and every year it's very important when it comes out. Everyone is buzzing about where we are on the list. Part of that ranking is how many alumni per year give. So what percentage of your alumni from your university give back philanthropically. So it doesn't matter how much the amount is, it just matters how many. So we call this a participation gift. Alumni can easily make this gift online. All I have to do is go on to alumni.ucsd.edu, or we have little handouts. You can give at a meeting. If someone says, hey, I would like to donate, how do I do that? You can just throw out your alumni folder and pull one of those out for them. But you can make this gift to almost every area on campus you can imagine. So any college, any program, like for example on the screen we have arts and humanities. So if an alumni really love their arts and humanities major and they really identify with that, that might be a good area for them to get involved in philanthropically. And then the important thing to remember is, even though an alumni might say, oh, I don't want to spend time doing anything, I don't really have time to do it, but I would like to give back, that's kind of the start, I feel, to them getting more engaged with events and volunteering. So it's all kind of a funnel system. You don't just get involved really with one key area of engagement without eventually getting involved with all of them. So alumni will not just be giving, they will not just be attending events. If you really can engage them, and which is our goal for the program, if you can really engage them, you can get them involved with every program eventually. That was my portion of the slideshow. I hope that it was knowledgeable and that you don't have too many questions about what the 3 key areas of engagement are, because don't really overthink them. They're as easy as they sound: events, volunteering, and giving. So thank you. Good luck with your ambassadorship. I hope that you learn a lot from our presentations.